The informal assessment I created was for my elementary student named Henry. Henry showed weakness in comprehension in the psychological and confidential testing, and that is exactly why I picked comprehension for Henry. Henry showed struggling with comprehension not only in the reading part of the exam, but also in the math part of the exam. So I felt like comprehension was a great way to start my informal exam for him, specifically pulling main ideas from passages or short stories. This assessment that I created was set up for him to read a short passage and then answer questions and describe the main idea. I felt that after reading, um, Henry needed some guidance to be able to pull information. And I had my assessment set up to ask him questions that allowed guidance specifically towards the main idea of a passage. Um, so, with that information, I created a sixth grade leveled passage due to vocabulary, and I tried to keep his reading close to ability level within his reading scores. As he was just recently placed into the resource room, I felt like sixth grade was an appropriate level. However, I focused on doing a shorter passage so that way it was easier to comprehend. My questions allowed him to think and problem solve in almost a way of a retell of the story before he was asked to describe the main idea. The main reason this assessment was chosen and developed was due to his testing scores and information that I was given with his confidential testing. One instructional strategy that I felt like would be best for Henry was to be able to pull information and restate the main idea. So that is why this assessment was created, because it allowed him to do just that. While Henry took the assessment, he was a little bit nervous. You could tell the look on his face and his actions that he did, like picking at his nails and his eraser on his pencil. Um, but he took the assessment and he scored a 100%. He was able to pull information from his short passage with great success. I was very impressed. Um, he I noticed after he read the directions and he read the passage, he did ask if he could go get a highlighter, which I allowed him to do. He highlighted information and key points in the passage. Unfortunately, with my scan, you couldn't see the highlights. Um, but this assessment, I feel like ultimately was a great success for Henry. I was able to see that he could pull information. He was able to answer questions. However, he did struggle answering incomplete sentences with great detail. I feel like my directions in this assessment should have been more clear or maybe more precise to allow him to to be a little bit more in depth or in detail in his answer. Um, he simply, just put short answers, which is exactly what I asked him to do. Um, his level of thinking may need to be pushed to be able to allow him to give more elaborate answers. Um, this assessment, however, not talking about the way he answered, the assessment in general, next time, if I was to give it again, I would change the length of the passage. According to his most recent IEP, he struggled with lengthy passages. That is why I chose a short passage to see if he could even recall information from it. Now that I have worked with Harry more, I would like I said, to give a passage with longer word count. But I feel like his assessment, all in all, matched his difficulties, and he was assessed exactly for why he has issues and why he is in the reading classroom for special education. Um, One recommendation I do recommend for the IEP team is to update a PLAF page that is more updated and more descriptive in his ability educationally. And I was very proud of Henry for working hard and being very cooperative.